No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people, Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
The propagandist are proper critical to lead of this minister and the
Good morning and welcome to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impacts to the society. Today on Open Conversation, we'll look at the stories. First, Edo Guba, Obaseki's aides resign, dump PDP. And then on to Anambra State. APC withdraws from polls, heads to court. And on Ondo State, Ayadetiwa appoints 344 aides. PDP, APC, Bika. Politics. You are a failed politician. PDP slams Ngelale reposits on indefinite leave. On governance, Jonathan, Buhari's regime better than Tinubu's government, Nigerian Labour Congress has to say. We are open for advert placements, bookings and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll delve right into the show. Do not go away.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people, Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
The propagandists are proper critical to lead.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today only.
Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence. To condemn this act, I thought that immediate release of this minister and the government.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites, which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we all join.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is Nze Nze. Nze is a political analyst and prides himself as man of the people.
The advocate
of the people.
The man who speaks for the downtrodden.
Good morning, Nze, and welcome to Open Conversation.
Good morning, Nigerians.
And I also have with me Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu, a political analyst and a regular on my show as well. Good morning, Ugochukwu, and welcome to Open Conversation.
Good morning, Laurentia. Good morning, good morning, Rivers people, Nigerians, and all the ATN fans around the world. And Laurentia, today, 9/9/2024, and Nigerian schools majorly reopens today in many of the states. I cannot but since yesterday begin to think of what parents will go through. And we are talking about qualitative education. Now we might be getting half-baked because if you cannot transport your children to school, you now put them in the school very close to the neighborhood. And will they get the needed qualitative education? What are the meals the children will take to school? What are the price of rice? Even the rice that government is asking the parents to come and buy with NIM, and we've been clamoring that NIM should be used as the major identification in Nigeria. And now how many people can afford rice, beans, even the cookies the children use, biscuits and all that? How do parents move on? And surely schools will increase their levies.
All right, let's hold on to that thought.
The books we get to increase, so it's really a pain for Nigerian parents as the school reopens. I want the government, instead of making rice affordable, let them look into the educational materials.
We'll get there. We'll have that conversation much later in the show. Less than 2 weeks before the governorship election in Edo State, 4 aides to the state governor, Godwin Obaseki, have resigned their appointments. ATM reports that the former senior special assistants, SSAs to the governor, also resigned from the People's Democratic Party. Dr. Pamela Acha also resigned as special advisor to Owan East Local Government Council. The resignation letters dated September 4 and September 6, 2024 were addressed to the chairman of the council and chairmen of their various wards. The former aides to the governor are Osayande Emenya, Ward 6, Henry Osaheni Okato, 6, Efosa Edo Osage, Ward 6, Oredo Local Government, and Timothy Edopolo, Ward 8, Iboba Oka Local Government Area. Emenya, who was the former youth leader of Ward 6 and former organizing secretary of Oredo Local Government of the party, and Efosa Edo Osage hinged their resignation from the party due to the non-payment of their salaries since their appointment as SSA to the Edo State governor. The duo and others also attributed that resignation from the appointments and the party to the alleged marginalization of the Aboriginal members of the party. They said, "We are also resigning from the party based on principle of equity, fairness, and justice that we hold dearly, which no longer prevails within our party at the ward levels, coupled with the marginalization of the Aboriginal PDP members who have worked assiduously to sustain this party prior to its infiltration, despite complaints," they said. They, however, thanked the leadership of the party and the state governor for the time they have spent in the party since its inception and the opportunity to serve the state government. On her part, Pamela attributed her resignation as SA at Owan East Council to the lack of inclusiveness in the decision-making and governance of the council. Nze, what do you have to say to this story?
It's normal in Nigerian politics, in the system. When you are no longer comfortable at where you are, you can vote out.
Why? The question, the interest is the timing.
Well, the timing,
less than 2 weeks to the Guba elections.
The timing must be well calculated by the campees,
okay,
or those that decided to resign. Because if they do it now, they feel the ruling party where they have served over time will feel the pause. It will affect them maybe negatively. But another thing behind this should be, what is the reason behind their resignation? It could be that they felt they were not being carried along. Like some of them who claimed they were not being included in the decision-making of the executive committee of a local government and all that. And for that reason, she can't serve in an executive where her input is not taken. You know, somehow we begin to look at it as being either selfish or thereabout. But whatever happened, it is allowed in Nigerian politics. When you are no longer comfortable at a certain party, with some certain party, you can decamp to another. Yeah, the law permits that. There's an opening. So it is not an issue. But the point is that it's a minus to Obaseki government if truly they are not Moors. They have not been serving as Moors in that camp. Yes, if they have not been serving as Moors, it will be a minus to Obaseki. But if they have been serving as Moors, it will be a plus. But the point is that I believe that all these people who are now the campaign must have 1 or 2 followers who will also leave Obaseki camp. So it's a plus to APC or whichever political party.
It is unclear now where the party they are joining.
They will join.
What is clear is that they have left PDP and also resigned.
Yes.
All right.
So it's a minus. And I also look at it from the angle that those who are manning the affairs of Obaseki's administration seem to lost sight of the things like this, because they should have prevented something like this. If they will leave, let them leave after the election, not before.
Non-payment of salaries?
Yeah. Let them be patient to the end. Bible said that he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Maybe their salary would have been paid maybe just few weeks or few days to the election.
Really?
Yeah, because you know that
layout.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. If they have really opened up their grievances to the appropriate authority and show their threat that if we are not considered, we may have no option than to leave. I believe that if those who are manning that government are sensitive enough, they should consider, and because of the effect, the negative effect it will have on their government, they're supposed to pay them. But now they are leaving just about maybe few weeks, 2-3 weeks to the election, 2 weeks to the election, and you are leaving. So you forfeited all the days or months or years of your services.
It's not a new thing. It's not news that people serve under certain administration and their salaries were never paid.
Yeah, it's not new to us.
It's not new. So now, probably they are citing non-payment of salaries as part of the reason for resignation. So probably when you say if they were patient to the end, they will be paid. You know that
they left.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Now that they left, will they ever get a salary? Where they will go to, will they be compensated with the salary? The answer is no. That is why, look, we are talking to people. Let Nigerians learn to be patient to the end. Not with this government anyway, but let Nigerians learn to work to the end to at least any result. Now, the Obaseki government will blame them for leaving as at the time they left. We were preparing your salaries and all that. They have given Obaseki excuse to stand
preparing
up.
salaries, but
we are preparing your salary
the same government has money to run campaigns.
Yes, they have to.
Billions.
Yes. That is priority. They prioritize their campaign, their winning election to the well-being and welfare, which is very, very wrong in every administration.
All right.
Yeah, each administration should consider the people that is working for them, the people they have come to serve, take care of them and all that.
All right. Ugochukwu, what is your take on this story?
Obaseki cannot cease to be on the news for the very wrong reasons, and funny ones are that. The intricacies and the double standing is at play in Edo State, and Obaseki seems to not to be a smart learner in this case. Obaseki suffered this type of mass resignation when he was, jostling for his second tenure in office, which he's still serving now. You could remember his commissioners, his kitchen cabinet members resigned in droves, and they left him at sea. That is why most of us questioned his rationality when he decided to ask Shaibu, the man who stood with him during Take and Ten. And also, this is what you get when you forget the road through which you climbed to the top. Because people having seen what Shaibu suffered, and how he was repaid, I wouldn't think any less of this kind of backlash coming to Obaseki's camp. And when Obaseki sat comfortably and allowed the South-South zone, not even the chairman of PDP in Edo State, the South-South vice chairman national, in the person of Obi, to leave PDP, that was when I knew that he's not ready to return Edo State for the PDP. So for those his aides to resign, those are insignificant acts, if you ask me, because in the Nigerian politics, they are just appoint SSAs, PAs just for compensation and all that. Just like you have the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointing somebody like Matawale, who has no military experience. We did not hear that he went to any intelligence school to be the Minister of Defense. That's what you see in Nigeria. So the governors just appoint those people to compensate those who worked for them during the elections, and they never take advice from them. They never call them. Remember, on this forum, I've said that all those SAs and PAs, they don't have offices. I've been around there.
One of them, when you say they are inconsequential, one of them, Emenya, was the former youth leader of Ward 6 and former organizing secretary. No, you cannot take away.
That is why I'm saying it's on compensational basis.
No, when you said that the aides they are not very relevant in the grand scheme of things. You see, the thing is, you cannot take away grassroots politics. Now, the people you might regard as, okay, they are inconsequential, might be the people that will plot your downfall. Because they are the ones that will mobilize the market woman, they are the ones that will mobilize the palm wine tappers, they are the ones that will mobilize the fishermen, they are the ones that will mobilize, even the touts in the streets. They are the ones that will get into the creeks and get those people for you to vote for you at the end of the day. So, grassroots mobilization in politics, particularly in campaign, you cannot sweep it under the carpet. One of the aides that resigned was a former youth leader and an organizing secretary. That's important. And then, with respect to the removal of Uche Secondus and Iyocha Ayu, you cannot take away the importance of the word, the influence the word has in the grand scheme of things in political structure. So, when you are losing at the word, to a large extent, it's a big blow.
Obaseki is not telling us that he's losing in the world. Remember, he's not the principal flag bearer. The principal flag bearer also have his people, his foot soldiers. You're talking about the youth leader or mobilization or whatever. You're talking about a grassroots mobilizer. And the grassroots mobilizer you're talking about now is the person whom Obaseki, the present governor, who has no need for votes, has already used him and has already compensated him. That's why I'm telling you that it is on a compensation basis.
Compensation that his salary was not paid.
No, you see, even if it's not paid, even we are here in Rivers State prior to 2023 general elections, when the former governor appointed so many liaison officers, and how many times were they paid? So this is Nigerian politics. Let me tell you, this is Nigerian politics. What you're talking about is the theoretical aspect of how it ought to be. But the person who is going to be the PDP flag bearer now has his own people, has the people that are working for him, has the party structure, has his own allies that are also mobilizing people for him in the same capacity of this particular youth leader who is
Right.
working under Obaseki already. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's not that their influence is not felt, but the influence, is it for Obaseki? He has seen that he's no longer relevant in the scheme of things. He's not being consulted. He's not being put in, whatever resignation or cross carpeting they're doing is because they have seen that in the case of spare parts that have been used and their time has elapsed, and they are now focusing on the new mobilizers who is going to help PDP to win election, as the case may be.
Right.
But Obaseki is not new for people to leave him at sea and he survive. He might not stick out his neck now because he's not the one involved, but in his own grace, the grace he has made that even when everybody has left him, remember that his secretary to the state government left him. A lot of his commissioners left him, and he stood alone with only few people. And those states said, maybe the magic that played out was when the president now, who is Ahmed Bola Tinubu, stepped into the waters of Edo politics and made that statement, and the Edo people now came out and said Edo is not Lagos. Maybe that's what worked for him, but now what is going to work for him? He's already standing against a formidable force coming from APC. So for him, whether those people stay, like they said, they have seen the handwriting on the wall. I've been telling you here, I'm not a current member of any political party, but APC is taking the day, given what Obaseki has done to unto himself, and how he has not galvanized the party to remain united. Even the soul of the party, as one of them mentioned, that they are the major stakeholders in the party, who are the aborigines. They neglected them in the case of Obi. And what you're saying about paying them or appointing aides and all that, you see what Rochas Okorocha did when he was there. He appointed community liaison officers. At the end of the day, what did they achieve? So this is how they go about making over-bloated appointments. At the end of the day, they cannot use them to further the gains and the democratization of what the people gain at the grassroots.
All right. All Progressive Congress in Anambra State has withdrawn from the upcoming local government elections scheduled for 28 September 2024, citing concerns over irregularities. The party announced this on Saturday, adding that it had decided to take legal action challenging the election process in court. According to the party, the decision followed alleged violations of due process, which they believe undermines the credibility of the poll. The APC further explained that participating in the local government election would amount to legalizing illegality, insisting that the Constitution of Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission and the announcement of the election dates did not follow due process as stipulated by the Electoral Act 2022. The motion to boycott the election was moved by APC stakeholders, including Donatus Emecheta and seconded by Ikunwata Obadike during the party stakeholders meeting held at the state headquarters in Awka on Saturday. Addressing party members during the meeting, the state chairman of the APC, Chief Basil Ejidike, noted that his leadership would not participate in the election because ANSIEC and the state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, were not prepared to conduct the exercise in a free, fair, and credible manner. He also claimed that Soludo had already set up a tribunal at the Anambra State High Court in Awka for political parties wishing to challenge the election's outcome, suggesting that the governor was not transparently preparing to establish an accountable local government system. Also speaking, the APC legal advisor, Chukwunoso Chinwoba, said the party had already filed a case in the High Court challenging the entire local government election process. Chinwoba argued that the electoral process had been compromised by irregularities, citing Section 23, subsection 1 of the ANSEC Law 2024, which provides for a 30-day notice period for the election as inconsistent with Section 103, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022, which requires a 150-day notice period. Let me start with you, Ugochukwu. What do you make of this story?
The Anambra story is is that echoes and reverberates across the length and breadth of the Nigerian political space when it comes to state elections, which they conduct across their respective local governments as empowered by the Constitution. And for APC to be accusing the ANSEC, trying to use the Electoral Act, but they also forget that the Constitution empowers the Anambra State House of Assembly to make laws that will be consistent with the Constitution, that is in tandem with the minds of the executive in conducting election and the affairs of local governments in their states. So they forget that they are using the national to cite example of what happens within the state, which for me they are not being open and in line with what the Electoral Act and the Constitution have said. Having said that, APC in Anambra State should not be crying foul where there is none already, because even before the national elections, tribunals have been set up, because believe it or yes, it's just that after any elections in Nigeria, there are litany of litigations. People have already condemned the process for the fact they are not the ones in charge. Anything that the government in power or the State Electoral Commission is doing is already under suspicion. So for the governor to set up the tribunal that we entertain such cases, we are not oblivious of it. It is not alien to Nigerian politics. So, and for APC, whom I see don't have any ground in Anambra State, because as far as I'm concerned, the highest office, APC office, political office holder in Anambra State is Chris Ngige. And Chris Ngige did not do much to, to solidify APC and marketing it to his people in Anambra State. He did not market it, and having left office, he did not do much, because maybe the position he held as the Minister of Employment did not give him enough room to garner support and the deep pocket, as we see in Nigerian politics, to make inroads in Anambra State. And again, Anambra State APC having a high hope when they let Senator Ifeanyi Oba cross-carpeted to APC from YPP. They lost him suddenly to the cold hands of death, and who would have been their chief financier and the person who would have turned around the fortunes of APC in Anambra State. So APC in Anambra State should be mourning instead of talking about elections, because they are not a party to be reckoned with in Anambra State. And for the tradition of what we know in Nigeria, that any state governor who is sitting with the mandate of any political party conducts local government election and sweeps it away. So this is not going to be, if it happens in Anambra State, it's not going to be a far cry. It's only going to solidify what we already know. So for me, APC in Anambra State have no need to start making inflammatory statements to attract unnecessary sympathy where there is none. Lawrence.
Where there is none?
No, there is none. There is none. There is none at all.
All right.
There is none at all. It's a tradition in Nigeria.
Very well, Nze, what do you have to say to this?
It is just a shout of accusation and counter-accusation. And I feel that for APC to raise their voice in a state like Anambra State is just they are leveraging on the popularity of the national APC. And when they are talking about legalizing illegality, it's like I see APC talking from two sides of their mouth.
Why do you say that?
APC is illegal. In fact, illegality personified.
You're talking of APC and APC, not
no,
APC
APC, that name in Nigeria, in our mind, in our psyche, APC is bunch of illegality. Look at how they came to power. Look at how they substantiated themselves in power. Look at everything about them. So when they come to talk about illegality and legality, it pisses me off. So look, the truth remains. We are Nigerians. We are dealing with people We know ourselves. We know what is good for us and what is not good for us. Those who found themselves in the corridors of power or in the field of in the political field should know that they are dealing with the mindset of the people, the entirety of Nigerian nation, and whatever we do should gear towards bettering the society we find ourselves. God has created us and has placed us in this part of the world. Are we encouraging ourselves to build a better society, or are we just messing things up? Now, for APC to come out to say that the governor is not prepared to be transparent and all that, and give a level playing ground for the other political parties and all that, yes, they can say that. But I think that what they should have done is to force the national APC to bring up people-friendly policies that will make the people develop interest in APC, because it is just obvious that those who can clap for APC are those who are drinking directly from the cup of APC. That is that. Anybody who is not drinking directly from the cup of APC, from the presidency, cannot say anything good about APC. Now, if you can just take, for instance, the last protest, and bad governance protest. You see how it went out of hand in the North. And the APC is claiming that North gave them the highest vote. So the people who voted you to power are receiving the big chunk of your unreasonable policies and anti-people policies, and they have come to say, no, we don't want you again. If you don't want to go, let the military take over, or let foreign countries come and overrun our sovereignty and things like that. You can see the depth of their pain. And instead of this APC-led government to look at the plight of the people, they just shifted it with a wave of hand and continue impoverishing the people, pressing on the people, telling the people that we don't send you, we don't care you, we don't mind what you go through. What we want to do, we want to do. And look, where I'm looking at it is, we've come to Anambra State. In as much as I did not score Professor Charles Soludo, a pass mark in his administration in Anambra. In fact, he disappointed me as a person. The Soludo I know in CBN, it's not the Soludo I know in Anambra State as a governor. That's an Nigerian politics. Honestly, he has stepped in the murky waters. If he stepped in the murky and he couldn't make it clean, it means that he does not have the quality in the first instance. Because we are believing that Nigeria is a good place. We are better people, for God's sake. In fact, the way we are condoning with the present government and the hardship they have inflicted on us, the way we are condoning shows that we are good people. This can't happen in other places. Look at what's happening in Kenya. Look at what happened in Madagascar. Look at what is happening in the Arab nations. They can't take it. But in Nigeria, we are suffering. Fela said it in some 40 years ago, that we are people that suffers while smiling, or people who smile while suffering. We suffer and smile. So in Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo didn't do well. For me, look at the level of insecurity. And I believe that he's just coming to conduct this election because the Supreme Court has given a local government autonomy and all that, and have cancelled the caretaker committee. For more than 10 years, Anambra State runs under caretaker committee. Why? And somebody like Soludo, who is educated, who is learned, a man I know that is, in fact, he's a groomed fellow, could come and not stop that nonsense. Anambra used to, in fact, other people from the time of Chinwo Kemba Dinoju, Anambra State had enjoyed at least government of the people to an extent. But this was Soludo came and look at before he let insecurity sweep over his state. That you can't, in our own Anambra State, you can't walk freely. How bad? Why should they allow such? So for APC coming to accuse them and all this and all that, they are simply playing politics and they just want to make themselves relevant. But it's not necessary.
Right. If I may add to what Mzee said, you see, should Nigerians tomorrow begin to clamor for a technocrat to be in government?
Okay.
From what he has said now about Soludo, I didn't want to go. You know my stance with Soludo on this show. My stance with Soludo and Ken Gugochin and Tony Okocha, you know my stance about them. With the high hopes and what, no wonder Soludo was shielded from taking over from P2B. we can see now, read in between the lines of why an Obi did not allow a Soludo to take over from him. So if we could have people as educated and highly influential and the people that host the economy by their fingertips, and you cannot see a substantial turnaround of economy of the Anambra people. You could not see the height to which the Anambra enterprising nature has grown. How the world is now even talking about, look at when Oti entered Abia State. Within 6 months, there's a reflection and turnaround in the landscape and whatever you talk about Aba that people has forgotten over the years. So if we have somebody like Soludo, just like when they are clamoring about youth leaders, and we had a certain Yaya Bello, can a Nigerian youth now come out and say, let us give to the youth? Yaya Bello and Elisha Abo. You see the embarrassment. You see. So do Nigerians now come out and talk about technocrats to be in our government? This is a sad story that they keep disappointing us. When the opinion mothers and the analysts and the human rights groups begin to advocate for them, and they find themselves there, they disappoint everybody. And that disappointment, the regular politicians or the people I call traditional politicians in Nigeria, they begin to laugh at us.
You know, Reverend, I would like to attribute this to the fact that the older corrupt politicians are grooming the young ones to fall in line with what they are doing. So when we are clamoring for the youth to be in government or in leadership and all that, we should look at the antecedents. So Nigerians, and
who is grooming them?
Yes, Nigerians should observe this. Now, it's just like the way you see the barrister Minister of FCT and former governor of Rivers State, the way he has lived his life, and you see somebody who has been groomed by wicked. What do you think he will be? He will do same like his master, as you can see in the Ishi in Ikwere local government. That's what's that his name? Anosike, someone Anosike.
Has positioned himself to take.
Yes, and you see him doing all this jiggy thing, and it is not helping matter. So, if Soludo had been groomed with a man who doesn't have the likes of Obi, the kind of lifestyle of Obi, he can't step in there. Even though Obi also made a wrong choice by choosing Obiano came in and messed up and got disgraced out of office. The government, in fact, it is a pity. Anambra does not deserve this. The Anambra I know, which is the hub of commerce in Nigeria, shouldn't suffer this nonsense.
All right.
So thank you.
APC government, right?
AP government, they are the ones just bringing us into all this brouhaha.
All right, let's go to Ondo State.
It's really sad.
Ondo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress have exchanged words over the recent political appointments made by Governor Lucky Ayadetiwa. The state governor on Friday, through his chief press secretary, Mr. Ebenezer Adeniyan, announced the appointments of 344 people as senior special assistants and special assistants, but the PDP condemned the action of the governor, describing it as ridiculous. This was contained in a statement issued by the special advisor on media and publicity to the PDP campaign organization, Mr. Ayo Fadaka, on Sunday. The statement reads in part: the appointment on Friday of 344 aides is a ridiculous action of a governor who is at sea over choices to make for the advancement of our state, confused largely over what should extend the frontiers of our development, but chose to prosecute petty partisanship desires at the expense of good governance, thus again confirming his unsuitability for the governorship seat he currently occupies, which he consistently uses to retard our quest for economic and societal growth. To appoint 344 aides with no specific governmental responsibilities and defined functions is criminal, particularly when due cognizance is taken of the fact that their remuneration per month is going to cost the government about 1.2 billion naira. In fact, their number of resources to be expended on them is enough to begin a new ministry. We declare that it is ridiculous and wrong for Lucky Ayedatiwa to appoint APC ward canvassers as senior special assistants and special assistants. Ondo State has never been this unlucky. However, the Director of Media and Publicity of the APC, Mr. Steve Otaloro, said Ayedatiwa's appointment was a strategic move to drive development and progress in the state. He described the PDP's allegation as false and desperate attempts to discredit the governor. He said, Governor Ayedatiwa's recent appointments are a fulfillment of his earlier promise to engage more people in running his government, adding value to governance and strengthening our democracy. These appointments are not superfluous, as claimed by the PDP, but rather a strategic move to harness the expertise and skills of Ondo State indigents to drive development and progress. Furthermore, we want to remind the PDP that government is not a solo affair, but a collective responsibility that requires the input of diverse stakeholders. Governor Ayedatiwa's appointments are a testament to his commitment to inclusive governance and his desire to tap into the vast human resources available in Ondo State. These allegations against Governor Ayedatiwa are false, with political undertones targeted solely at the November 16 governorship election. We urge the good people of Ondo State to discern the truth and see through the PDP's desperate attempts to discredit our performing governor. Nze, what do you have to say? You were looking pensive while I was reading the story.
Ondo State has never been unlucky. I've never been this unlucky with the lucky Ayedatiwa. It's a sad news. It's a sad story. You know, Ayedatiwa is a man that fate smiled at. And I had expected him to satisfy that gesture. I had expected him to do something extraordinary in Ondo State. You discover the challenges he passed through when Akeredolu was going through struggle with health, with his life. How the caucus or the cabals hijacked the APC structure. Where he was as deputy governor, he's supposed to take over the affairs of governance in the absence of his boss, but they didn't allow him. And in that struggle, he was even facing a threat. That's an impeachment threat. But at the end of the day, God said, no, you will come, you will emerge. And this man passed on, and power came to him. Instead of him to act like the CTC chairman of Governor Fubara in Rivers State, who are doing marvelously well. Instead of him to do like that, he started playing politics of bickering and bitterness, which is not good, honestly. Ayedatiwa didn't prove the point that God just favored you. He's supposed to have behaved like a man whom God helped. And since you know that you got this thing on a platter, you should be able to reciprocate. Let the people of Edo State sing your praise. Okay. That is, by the way. Then coming to PDP's claim and all that, you know, this issue of when you are not in party, when you are not in the ruling class, or you are not in the central, in the center of power, you castigate. Now, his appointment of 344 age is his personal choice. We've seen it play. And you know in my place that when evil had lasted for 1 year, it becomes a tradition. So this issue of when approaching an electionary period, the governors or the executives will appoint all manner of insignificant aides. And, you know, spend money. Even the money that is budgeted for them might not even come to these people at the end of the day. It might not reach their hands. Okay, look at what just happened. What the people of these other people were accusing the governor of Edo State of not paying them. The aides to Obaseki were saying that they were not paid. And my co-discussant here, my co-parliamentarian, said that they were insignificant and you were angry with him. You were asking
why would I be angry?
Why were you accosting him on that point that he said that they were insignificant? My
job is to ask
no. Your job
just
is
like I'm about to in your language. I trust you on a statement you
and
have.
I will flow with you. You will do your job, but permit me also to do my job by accusing you, alleging that you. So Now, you see, coming to that anyway, you see that for the PDP to begin to trouble Ayedetuwa for making choice of the people he felt he want to use to win the election, because those aides, to me, they're irrelevant.
All right.
If you had done well, the people will vote you, for God's sake. The people will sing your praise. You don't need these aides to rig election, because these aides are just rigging tools. Yes, we've seen it in most of the states around the country. So for the PDP to shout, they just have to make the noise, but it won't stop Lucky from doing what he had come to do. If he budget 1.2 billion to sort those people out, let it be that the 1.2 billion will reach the hands of these Nigerians, because to me, those people are citizens and indigenous of Ondo State. Right. Let the money get to them. Let them also not be used. Let me say this. These aids should not be used by their paymaster to perpetrate evil in Ondo State. Yes, collect the pay, but please know that you are Ondo man. After this time, he may not remember you again, just as others. Those who have gone ahead of you people have suffered what is likely to come to you. So do not force people to vote against their wish, and do not steal the vote of the people. Let the works of Lucky Ayedetuwa speak for him.
All right.
That is my stand.
All right. Before I let Ugochukwu speak,
I'm waiting for you.
You spoke of accosting. You made a statement when you were talking, though I am trying to find out how it's related, but apparently you couldn't help yourself, Nze, when you were talking about fate smiling on Ayedetuwa. Yes. Yeah. And instead of Ayedetuwa to satisfy the destiny that smiled on him, he rather chose to tread the path he was treading. And you made reference to how he ascended into power, and then with reference to discussion we have on ground, appointment of 344 aides. You made reference to he should have acted like the CTC chairman of
yes, governor of similar Fubar,
who in your opinion are doing
well, yes.
Very well. And funny enough, you condemned this action of Ayedetuwa appointing 344 aides.
Did you say I condemned
the action? Did you condemn it?
No.
You don't condemn it.
I said that he's doing what he's doing. But let those, my concern is what will come out of these appointees.
Okay.
Are you getting me? My problem is not that he appointed people. One, he should have, captured the interest of the people by offering them good governance. And if he had done well during the few days...
This appointment of aides, is it good governance in your opinion?
To me, it is his choice.
Is it good governance?
To me, it is not a good governance.
It's not good governance.
Yes, and the reason is this. If he had done well, he wouldn't need these people to go to all the look and...
So what do you have to say about the TTC chairman in Rivers State that are appointing 100 aides, 600 aides as it were?
I'm still against it. You read it. The PDP, the CTC.
You still applaud them.
I still applaud them because they are affecting lives now.
By employing... appointing
that somebody did something out of 100, he scored 80. Remember that the other 20...
Who is scoring them 80? And with what...
Me now, look, I am the advocate of the masses.
No, you're speaking for yourself in this instance.
I'm speaking for the masses.
No, you're not.
No, you don't do that.
I'm among the masses.
Okay, you can see to that.
Are you speaking for me?
See, yes, I'm speaking for the masses. Look at why I'm saying...
Are you speaking for me?
I will also speak for myself.
No, he will come up. But let me say why. Let me see why I say
I will also speak for
the masses. In Andoni local government, in the present, look at what is happening there. Look at what is happening in Obiakpo. Look at what is happening in Emowa.
What is happening in Obiakpo? What is happening in
Chijoke Nwo is doing massively well by, at least, he is empowering people.
In what way, please?
Which way do you need to empower people now?
No,
if not to make sure that people, at least to an extent, people have some food on their table.
How?
People have some means of getting revenues for themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
So what empowerment exactly? What you just said.
Let me start from
what you just said is very ambiguous.
Yes, I know it is ambiguous.
Yes.
Now let me narrow it down from what just happened yesterday in Andoni local government, where many buses were purchased by the local government caretaker committee.
How many of them?
About 10 of them.
All right.
I'm coming. And about 150 persons were gifted with a gift of cash.
How much again?
I think it's about 50,000 naira.
What would 50,000 naira translate now?
What will 50,000 not do to somebody who?
50,000 naira.
What will 50,000 not do to somebody who does not have 10,000?
50,000 naira.
No, what will 50,000 not do to somebody who does not have 10,000 naira?
How much has been given to this caretaker chairman?
He's not the basic. He's not just
Nze,
focusing on. I don't know how much he's giving to them.
If you're so well acquainted,
I am to
an advocate of the masses.
As an advocate of
Yes.
the masses, and you're well acquainted with the governance at the local government level, you should know what is coming to Andoni caretaker committee chairman.
Are you aware that these people?
How much
are you aware
comes to them?
Are you aware that the money that is given to them is meant to govern the people?
How much comes to them?
I'm not here to tell you how much that is
and
given to
then when
them.
money, hold on,
that
when millions are given to them, they decide in their magnanimity to, let's say Andoni in this instance, to give 10 minibuses, you said, 10 minibuses, and then 50,000 naira cash.
And not just that.
And you call that empowerment.
It's empowerment.
All right, no problem.
Let's
Reverend
Ugochukwu just said now that even the 50 kg rice that the federal government gave to us is nowhere to be found.
Well, you should be asking the governor that question. Don't you agree?
No,
because according to you, the rice, if the federal government
has it been released? Has it been released?
It is releasing palliatives. It comes down to the governors. So probably the people, including you, the advocate of the masses, should be asking the governor to give accounts so that the governor can now come out.
If the governor has received it, then we will take it.
The governor in this instance can now come out to say, oh, I have not received the palliative. Don't you agree? All right. Ugochukwu, what do you have to say? He has married River State with Ondo State.
How I wish that River State politics is not drawn into this discussion, but Mze, you brought it upon yourself. That's what Israeli authorities when they are negotiating for a ceasefire or what, so they want the opinion to be superior to that of Palestinians. And when they are asked why are they making it difficult, they say they brought it upon themselves. Okay. Because they were in their house and they were invaded. So I hear the Tiwa has appointed his political opportunists, political jobbers, because I am very, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but I'm very a bit taken aback by your advocacy and your alignment with what you call empowerment in Nigeria. I want to take it in Nigeria. And the River State. We are talking about in Ondo State about 1.2 billion that could do a lot, in Nigeria. And again, the governor, don't take it away from him. He wants to win an election. And all those aides he appointed, just for them to go into the hinterlands and make sure that they return him. And he refused to take a clue from Jonathan, who shall such fate with him, because such fate smiled on Jonathan, but today Nigerians are clamoring for Jonathan. And I also wish that at the end of his tenure, Ayedetiwa, that Ondo people will clamor for him. But what he is doing now, he cannot outshine and let people call up the spirit of late Akredolu, because he has not learned from the master. Akredolu sacrificed and laid his life for his people. And that is why today, when who sat here and advocated for Ayedetiwa to be given that opportunity, he's disappointing us, because we thought that the masses will be at the center, will be the centerpiece of his administration. But he has come to play the Nigerian regular politics, no doubt, appointing aides that he told no offices for them. They don't have offices. Those aides are the type of empowerment we see in Nigeria. And drawing it back to River State, where you applaud the appointment and somehow giving it a little strike when it comes to Ondo State. I don't know, have you taken a walk around the Transamadi of late? And have the governor, I don't know, I'm sitting somebody that also can take information to the camp of the governor. So the governor has promised us about the Songhai farms. And you could agree with me, the cost of food items in River State. And we see other sister states, their governors importing, food items en masse to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal. And also in our sister state here, Bayelsa, they bought a lot of free buses, even in Lagos and other states, to cushion the effect. And in River State, the 12 buses we saw refurbished and given out are not nowhere to be found again. And again, you find out that River State governor has not made any conscious effort to cushion the effect of hiking of food prices in River State. I've been calling on the governor here. I've been advocating that a way of channeling the public fund is that, do you know that in River State as a whole, we don't have a functional fire service? A whole River State as positioned and one of the satellite states in Nigeria. You can mention Lagos. The next, when you look at all those artists and people who are conversing, maybe they want to advertise their product. After Lagos State is River State and the Kano State. That's where they go. That's where the population is and the commercial is. So I had an experience, and I called on the fire service of River State. They said they don't have any functional vehicle. And the governor is now turning out 100 vehicles to the police. To the police that the police is at the purview of the federal government. And the Tinubu have not told the governor of River State that he has the capacity to provide operational vehicles for the Nigerian police. And we have pressing needs in River State, and the governor, what he could do to win election and to make sure that he police us during elections. This coming local government election, you can't remove the donation of the police operational vehicles to the forthcoming elections. And the strategic points, the strategic intra-party play that we are seeing in River State. But River State, that money could be used in revitalizing many ailing industries in River State. And you call appointment of aides empowerment. People who have been given handouts to prioritizing it to building government of a River State. Government, the federal government under Tinubu has floated for each state to have their own gas operational way of providing power for the states. What has the government of Ifobara done in making sure that we have modular refinery and this avenue that the federal government have created now for states to generate their own power? And the governor is busy dishing out our monies through appointment of some. Even I hear a governor appointing 300, but a local government chair, a CTC chairman, not even an elected chairman in River State, is pointing as more to the tune of 600 aides, and they are paying them. And you say that's okay as an advocate of the masses, and those monies are being turned during anybody that is a praise singer and calls the name of the governor. They use different media platforms to get the governor's attention. The next thing, they jump ship and join the governor, and they are welcomed and patted at the back, and the monies are given to them. But we are not seeing anything. How many markets around rivers, around Port Harcourt City, that have gone to, build and say, okay, let us make this place a place that people can go and trade, and they have their means of livelihood protected. Again, the governor of River State, who came and is turning out the people of River State first. That's his mantra now. What are the benefits of the people? And Asaboja, you know him very well, came out and made an accusation on the camp of the governor that they are only giving those you call, if we profile those people that 10 buses are given to, and the 50,000 are being given to, they are the people who are aligning with those aides that are appointed by the CTC chairman. And going further, you find out that all those people who are praise singers in the governor's camp are the people that are being given appointments. So how do you marry it to what the larger population? This, you are talking about a fragment of about 1% of the River State population. No matter you call Onega, you call whatever local government it is, go there and find out from the people what exactly is all those monies that the governor is giving to reach out to the people. How is he reaching them? Are they still playing the old politics that accuse Nyesom Wike of?
Good.
At the end of the day, we are not seeing any particular effort in making sure that the lives of average Rivers man has improved beyond what we saw when the governor came in.
Let me just pick it from there. You've really helped my claim and my stand very greatly. One, I am not in support of the appointment of aides by CTC chairman. I am in support of their giving of empowerment and incentives to people. Then number two, we as discussants in this open conversation, we have a role which we are playing. What is that role? Bringing out what is needed to be done and giving it to these people who have what it takes to implement. You have just mentioned very clearly that in Rivers State there is no functional fire service. If the governor should hear this and also a proposal being sent to him, let him implement it. The governor has not gone to markets to cushion the effect of food prices in markets. The governor should do that. These are the things we come to do. In as much as the CTC chairman, I know to the extent to which I know, are trying, because a step of 1,000 miles starts with a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. And in this, they have taken a step. They just have about 3 months, and the 3 months is elapsing any moment now, in the next month of October. And if by God's grace they win election and continue in the same hand, which means there is hope for us. But if they don't win election, and whoever comes to win election should continue in this, empower people. Yes, Rome is not built in a day. You don't expect Similayo Fibara to come in now and transform everything, but let it be that he started somewhere. And those areas he has not come to, we should be able to identify them and still come in media like this and say them out and see how they will pick those things. If they fail to implement those things we are outlining to them, we will still come to the media and tell the whole world that they are not doing well. That is my stand.
But Laurentia, if you allow me, the empowerment you're talking about, Laurentia asked a penitent question here. He said, these monies that have been earmarked to reach out to the people, let us assume that the governor has prioritized, empowerment as his area of attention in his administration, a focal point in his administration, and that when we come to this, a social amount of money will be earmarked. From what you are seeing on ground as advocate of the masses, can you say conscientiously that it is commiserate with what is being turned out?
Not at all.
So why do you now seek to applaud it and say it is making an inroute? Where those politicians are also holding this money onto themselves.
We will come to that.
But they are holding this money. So how do we get it
to stop them?
No. How do we get it? But we already see what they are doing. Okay, look at how much the Rivers State government has received. About 400 and something billion. About 400 and something billion naira, and the governor gave a party sum of 4 billion to SMEs. And we were here. It was everywhere on air.
Did we clap for him? Did we clap for him for that?
So what the rest of the money is where?
That's the question we must ask.
Let us not be building individuals giving handouts. Laurentia, let us not be giving handouts. We are advocating that let this money be channeled to a public private partnership, something that will employ lasting people. I'm not giving people handout. What is 50,000 naira in today's Nigeria? What is giving somebody keke boss? Is it at the end of the day the person goes back to the labor market? We are talking about Transamade here. There is no industry that is functional which the government can buy them over and revitalize them and then give people in meaningful and engaging livelihood through employment. So that is what we are advocating, not giving handout. Remember that it is also the people camp of the governor that came here and chilled Lloyd, that he was giving farming tools, which we saw they not do. Governor have not imported imported fertilizer to cushion the effect of fertilizer in the River State that price herself as a farmers community. So what are we talking about? So there are a lot to be done. If the government want to prioritize agriculture, let him make sure that fertilizer is handy for the people of Ogoni, Eche, Ikwele, and all those people that farm. Make sure that the farming, they bring in seedlings and make the Minister of Agriculture very, very viable to make sure that we put food on our table. Mr. Nze, what we put food on our table is not by giving us handouts of 50,000 naira. That is not we give us handouts. That is not to give us.
We are not here today to discuss. I plead that maybe Laurentia will bring a River State issue so that we can digest it maybe in our next discussion.
Well, Ugochukwu actually made salient points that there was no need for me to further ask questions, because on one hand you were saying it's not yet time to look into the activities of the government, as it were, that when it comes to that time that you will still come back here, you know, to call out the government on some of the things that, in your opinion, they have fallen short of. However, you know, as the advocate of the masses, if already you have acknowledged that there are things that should be done right or should be done better, is it not are you not in the right, is this not the appropriate time to actually call out the government instead of applauding? Like, you are applauding them, you know, and then much later you start calling them out. I'm trying to reconcile the two, because like I asked you a very clear question, giving these people handouts of 50,000 naira, you said it's applaudable, and I asked, what exactly is the amount, what is the inflow to this caretaker chairman? Probably, if you know the actual inflow to this caretaker chairman, probably you take a different stance. Now, coming out to give 10 mini buses, 50,000 naira, and I asked you a question, 50,000 naira right now in Nigeria, what's the exact value of 50,000 naira? Let's break it down. Somebody wants to start a small business, yes?
Under umbrella.
What exactly can you do with 50,000 naira? I am being very, very honest. As a Nigerian, let's lay it bare. POS. You talk of double taxation. When the bank will come,
that umbrella is 20-something thousand.
The table, the chair, then the POS, the cash you would need first, and then the taxation from local governments. You want to start a kiosk. How much is a container? Actually, how much is the rotten zinc? How much is plywood? Okay. Let's say you want to put together a plywood. How much is it? Okay, let's say you want to sell small food items. How much is a plastic bucket? How much is a pint of beans?
Okay.
How much is a pint of rice? How much is a carton of sachet tomatoes? How much is salt?
Can you allow me to...
No, hold on. And you're talking of people who will have to train their children. You're talking of people who will have to access medical care that has not been subsidized yet. You're talking of rivers people who it's not even safe for them to go to farms. You're talking of rivers people who right now, I am sure, do not even have the means to take their children to school. We are not talking of middle class. We are talking of the lowest of the lowest. What exactly are they going to do with 50,000 naira? Because as I'm talking to you, I am trying to reconcile this with a full tank of a Corolla is about 7-something thousand naira right now. To fill it, fuel generator of 15 liters is about 38,000 naira. Make it make sense to me exactly. What is somebody going to do with? And when you start that business, while that business is running,
you're feeding
your family from it. You're footing bills from it. The government, the federal, the local government, as it were, will give you with the right hand and come to collect with the left hand, because double taxation and multiple taxation will come in. And then some other people will come and say it is an illegal structure. Make it make sense to me.
Good. Thank
so
you.
when the caretaker committee, according to you, are giving out, if they are looking at human capital development, is it by giving out 50,000 naira that will not carry anybody in this country for a week? Realistically speaking. Realistically speaking.
Can I come in then?
Yes, please.
Good. You know that prior to this time, we don't see this kind of thing. One. Now, when a giver, when a person does something to you, for you, it is expected of you, courtesy demands that you appreciate that person. Then tell the person, what you did, thank you, but this is not enough. Now,
no, hold on.
Allow me, I allow you to roll out all you have.
Yes,
okay.
I will still halt you at this point.
Come in.
When you say when a giver gives you something, courtesy demands, probably it's time Nigerians begin to be given proper orientation. Because the thing here is when journalists calls out things like this, people accuse journalists of being partisan. But this is good governance, and the job of a journalist is what I am doing exactly right now.
Sure.
It is not.
And that's why we will not criticize you for doing that.
Hold on. When you say, when somebody does something that is unexpected, courtesy demands. The thing is, people, Nigerians, Rivers people, should start demanding for good governance. I don't care whether it's the past from the past government, the current government. This is what should trickle down to them. And it's not trickling down to them. And someone gives them a pittance out of a big sum. And courtesy, according to you, Nze, is demanding that they should thank them.
Can you give me a stage to clarify myself?
Yes, you will have time. Do you know?
I wouldn't want to. Well, you are the
I am the moderator. Yeah, you will have your time and you will have your say. Nze, do you know that subsidized medical care is a right?
Yes.
Should be enjoyed. Are you aware that it is wrong that I will fix the leg of my car, and in the next 3 weeks I'm going back to mechanic to fix the same leg because of bad road? And taxes are being collected from these individuals. When the government comes out to say they have increased IGR, how are they increasing this IGR? It is from your pocket, it is from my pocket, from my salary, from the people on the road, from the masses, the common downtrodden masses.
They give the 50,000.
It is their monies that is making politicians rich. And at the end of the day, the middle class is eroded. The same government comes out. For example, I have asked the question, 30% derivation fund. The Rivers State government, between last year and early this year, has received over approximately 110 billion naira. And I have asked questions, and I've invited people from oil companies. You were a guest on my show. You discussed it, and you spoke with so much passion, and you said it has never trickled down. You do not see the effect. And then suddenly, the government, out of the magnanimity of their heart, decides to come to the communities and probably, does one or two things, and you say courtesy demands. Does it make it make sense to me? Is it not right time that you, as the advocate of the masses, you start actually calling things as it is and tell the government this thing should actually trickle down in the real sense of the word? That was why I asked you a question. If you're applauding these people for 50,000 naira and 10 minibuses, what exactly, how much do you think has trickled down? Or how much do you think the governor, has given to this caretaker committee chairman? I cannot take it away from the governor that he has been generous to the CTC chairman. He should be applauded for the funds he has given to this man. The question is, what they are laying on ground, what they are putting on ground, is it commensurate with what the governor has given? Can you answer that question?
Good. Remember where you cut me off from. I thank God that we have brought this matter down to Rivers State, where it affects us directly. No longer on the issue or whatever. Look at it. I said that when someone gives you a thing policy demands that you applaud, at least you show appreciation. That they are giving to the people 50,000 is completely insignificant, infinitesimal, compared to the chunk of money that come to them. But will you be so greedy, so ungrateful to say thank you? If you bought a echo now and someone pays 100 naira for you, 100 naira, will you not appreciate that? Whereas you might have reasonable money.
Let me come in. Is it their personal money?
I am coming.
No, it is time. Let us begin to say it. No, I can't be here and you're insulting our accessibility. No, I cannot be here. You're insulting from me. What I'm saying, you're quoting our accessibility.
It is our sensibility. You are part of it. I am part of it. We are all here. But in as much as we have started with this, we have been here with CTC chairman, elected substantive chairman, and we have seen how they have messed up our common resources. And these things has happened, and these ones have come to say, okay, we want to a new phase of governance, and they started with this. We are not in any way saying that they have justified the money that is given to them, but they have started with a step. Now, what we are saying is, look, what you give, to give somebody 50,000 is nothing, but to give somebody 50,000 is something. To someone who does not have 5,000 and you give that person 50,000, you have at least has helped that person reduce the blood pressure within that few days.
It's called placebo effect. Placebo.
Yes, effect. You might call it whatever name you want, you like, but the truth is this: they have started, and now that we have seen this one, we are now coming to say, okay, these people you give 10 naira or 50,000 naira, 100,000 to 200,000, they have just exhausted it in the past week. Now, why not establish them? Why not establish these people? Why not give these people what is called empowerment? Because like the people they gave minibus, to me, it's empowerment, because minibus is about the worth of minibus fund, the value of minibus by now should be about 3.something million. Right. And when you give it to somebody, the person at least he will use that bus for not less than years. And within this period, the person can build his wealth, the person can feed his family. When the person collects a minibus, you know that more than 5 persons will be feeding from that minibus. So it is empowerment.
All right. Ugochukwu, very quickly, what do you have to say as your final word?
The only thing I have to say is that I will not sit here and agree that Nigerians should applaud politicians when they use our patrimony. What I was taught in school in Nigerian Peoples and Culture and political science is that those who are in position of leadership are our representatives. We send them there. Let me educate Nigeria. We send them there. We are not subservient to them. They are servants. Let Pope John Paul II say that he is the servants of Christ. Serva Servatorum Dei. You cannot be in the and my lecturer, Professor Professor Anyele, he told me that they are our tenants. We pay their bills. They don't pay our bills. So we are not, Nigerians cannot be thanking somebody for making, we put them in the driving seat to manage our economy. So for the time Nigerians, average Nigerians, learned Nigerians begin to understand, that is why we have political jobbers and opportunists. They look for every little space to sycophants, and immediately the sycophants, what the government in power will now bring them to them and say, well done, my beloved son, continue to back. And in politics we call them the attack dogs. How will you tell me that I should thank a person in authority just because of my vote or through appointment, because we voted the governor now appoints the person to aid him in administration, and this person, monies are channeled towards this person, not the monies he merited through his sweat or monies from his factory or industry. This is a public money given to affect the lives of the people, and now you ask me to thank the person. It's a no. Nigerians should resist that kind of attitude of going cap in hand and beginning to applaud somebody, rolling out the drums when they give you borehole and all that. It is our right, and I ask Nigerians to continue to demand for it.
All right, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. Thank you so much, Ugochukwu, for coming on Open Conversation. It's always a pleasure having you.
9/2024, and I wish Nigerian teachers and students a happy reopening, and I pray for a seamless academic year.
All right, thank you so much, Nze. Oh, Nze,
Thank you.
coming. It's
Thank
always
you
a
very
pleasure
much.
having you, Nze.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Gochugu. Thank you, Lorenza. Thank you, Nigerians. Yeah.
And we are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network.